Thanks to Sigmund Freud, guilt has become a bit of a dirty word to modern minds. When we hear it, we often picture someone beating themselves up for taking care of themselves or being emotionally manipulated by a peer. But guilt is incredibly important, like pain telling us when we have an injury. We experience guilt because we are not living as we were made to, and that failure to honour our Creator, uphold His good laws, and love those made in His image rightly leaves a mark. Now, it's worth noting that there's a big difference between objective guilt and subjective guilt, or feeling guilty. Depending on how our conscience has been shaped or altered by our environment, subjective guilt may not be the best guide to how guilty we actually are. For example, I might have been raised to feel guilty for laughing at a random clip from South Park, but that's not necessarily biblical, is it? Only an understanding of God's claim on our lives can align our conscience with objective guilt. And this guilt cannot be dealt with by denial. It doesn't matter whether or not we believe we're guilty, but only what God pronounces as the final verdict. It cannot be dealt with by avoidance. We can't remove ourselves from God's jurisdiction because there is nowhere else to go. We cannot remove the judge from office, stripping him of his authority to carry out the sentence. We tried that one time by putting the Son of God on a cross, and it didn't work out so well. No, when faced with objective guilt, we either need to be shown mercy or pay the penalty. But in the case of sin, the penalty is death, a penalty we are unable to bear. So mercy is our only option. Peace with the God we have wronged, others and ourselves, can only come through forgiveness. A forgiveness where our sin, our failure to live by God's standards and His law, is atoned for. And that is exactly what God offers us, each and every one. Peace is possible.